Well, welcome back to Seaside Garage. You join me in a 1988 Citroen CX, black Citroen CX, and it's a turbo. It's actually a Turbo 2, the car with the longest name tag on the rear, but this one currently only got the turbo sticker on the back because it's not with the original engine currently, which means that it's without a intercooler. And that makes it just a turbo, not the Turbo 2. It's the same power, it just heat soaks a bit faster, I guess. But anyway, this is an awesome car that I got the chance to drive today. It's the same guy who also owns the AX Sport and the BX 4x4 I drove a while back. That guy got an insane collection of pure madness. And this is no different. This is really a nice looking car, really nice looking car. It also drives awesome. It's fast, it's very fast. This is a bucket list car for me. I owned a Citroen CX GTI a couple of years back. Some of you might remember the video series of me fixing rust in the roof on that one. That was an awesome car also, but that was just a GTI. It wasn't a turbo, so it was, I think it got 120 horsepower or something like that. This one got 167. It's a very fast turbo car from the 80s, and you won't really expect a big old Citroen, a soft floating Citroen, to be this fast, unless you know, of course. But this is awesome. The owner of this car really knows his Citroens, and he did some changes to this, so it's not completely like you would expect it to be. He changed the steering, for instance. He didn't really like the twitchiness of the CX, and I can sort of understand why, because it is very twitchy, and this is way more firm. It fits a fast car like this much better. He removed a couple of the shims in the hydraulic ram thingy. I'm not sure how to do that, but yeah. He did it, and it feels really nice and responsive, but not flimsy or twitchy like it normally do. It's still got the very high gear ratio on the steering wheel, so you don't have to turn it a lot to turn the car a lot, and it feels just nice. Suspension feels so great for this car. It's more stiff than the normal CXs. It got a different front end. The rams on the front are different, as far as I know. I also think he fitted it with a bit firmer spheres, but it is still floating just wonderfully. But it fits the power of the car quite well. That it's not too floaty. Because listen to this. It can move. It can really move. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And everything is just so nice put together. And of course the glove compartment opens, going over bumps. Also this one tends to fall down. going over bumps from time to time also. It's very Citroen-like still. It hasn't lost the charm of being a weird old Citroen, but it's really a nice drive, I gotta say. Take a look at this. Woo! And the speed limit is somewhere below this point. There it is. And we're just going over hills right now, and it's just floating. Oh, it's nice. Nothing beats a hydraulic Citroen that is well maintained, that's for sure. This one is just awesome. Makes me want to go back home and sort out my Citroen XM and start enjoying that. And I've said this before, I think this is probably one of the most pretty cars ever built. I think the lines are just so awesome. Everything is just compiled very nicely. The curved rear windscreen, the rear spoiler, the weird little hatch. Quite annoying that it's so small. But there's a lot of room, it's just hard to get there. Wonderful door handles. Yeah, Tesla stole that. The famous mirrors used on Maseratis and many other things, Lotus I think even. The very cool bonnet. And in here everything is very Citroen still. We got a lot of buttons up here on this satellite thingies for the wiper mechanism, the washer. Over here we have the lighting switch and the indicators up there, and then this weird, cool looking steering wheel, very space shuttle like. Down here we have an ashtray, the heater controls, the height settings thingy, and the wonderful pistol grip door handles. Very cool. But this is probably the best driving Citroen I ever been in. It's really nice. This was born with the leather seats. They were sold at one point in the car's history when the owner needed money, not the current owner. So the leather seats were taken out and sold. Now they've got these fluffy, very soft and very nice seats. Of course the leather looks better, but I'm pretty sure that this is more comfortable to ride in, especially in the heat. It got air conditioning, but I doubt it works. I haven't tried it though. The indicator of course is on the dash up here. It doesn't self-cancel. Have to get used to that, but I have owned one of these. It comes back quite easily, and it's not a big deal that you have to cancel it out yourself because your fingers are there anyway. You just have to remember, because that's not very normal to have to do. Not even in the 80s, but especially not now. So this is gonna be all for now. It's been such a blast, and I'm tempted to say that this is probably the most fun that I'm gonna have today, but I'm gonna drive 2 other cars today also. So I have a long day ahead of me, but it's one of the good ones. It's been a lot of fun to drive one of these, which has been a dream car for me from as long as I can remember. From the time when I realized that they made a turbo version, I have just been so in love with these. But yeah, I actually promised myself not to mention that Jeremy Clarkson calls this the best car in the world, but here I am mentioning it. And I haven't driven a lot of cars, to be honest. Not in the higher classes, at least. I never driven a Porsche. Oh, that's not true. I owned a Porsche, but that was a 924. I never driven a Ferrari, I never driven Bentleys or anything like that, so it's hard to say how the very, very expensive good brands really are in the real world. But this just drives like no other car. The suspension is one thing, the steering is one thing, the engine a bit agricultural, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. But there is a subframe on a CX. It's not a frame, but it's a monocoque chassis coupled together with a frame sort of thing, and there are rubber mounts between those 2 points, which makes the car even more isolated from all the vibration and the road and so on, but not in a bad way. You can still feel the road, but it's very, very nice and comfortable on the road, especially for a car from the 80s. This will be all for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget you can support me. There is a Patreon link down below where you can also go and buy a t-shirt with something on it. And see you on the next one. Ciao.